Greetings and welcome to Hexed Encountered. It is the end of the year, and I thought to kind of keep in step with what a lot of channels do here at the end of the year, start of the new year, we look at top lists of whatever it may be. Now I've decided to do my own top list, and it's going to be top 6 because hexagons have 6 sides, and the most common form of dice, of course, is the D6. So we are going to do the top 6, and I'm going to actually break it up and do my top 6 by publisher. And the first publisher we're going to look at is GMT Games, and I'm going to count down from 6 to 1. Now these are just my 6 personal favorites. Most of them are pretty well considered. In fact, I would say all of them have fairly high ratings and are generally enjoyed by players. So let's get this show on the road. We are going to start with number 6, The Last 100 Yards. Now this is the base game. I have all of the games that have come out in the Last 100 Yard series. This being the first one. It's emblematic of what I like about the series. So if you're not familiar with The Last 100 Yards, it is a tactical game, and it has a very nice and well-designed system that is fairly innovative. In fact, it says right here, introduces innovative systems intended to model small unit behavior in combat. So everything it says in here is true. So you have initiative and advantage, as it mentions here, and initiative gives you basically the power to drive the turn. And it also has varying amounts of time that are used per turn, and there's a lot of reaction or action and reaction. So the initiative player will drive the action, the other player gets to react, and then the initiative player can react to the reaction. So you have like multiple layers of interaction between the two players. And it puts a focus on doing things that show the simultaneity of the action taking place. So very, very well done, very well designed by Mike Denson. Excellent game system. Really cannot praise this tactical system enough. I love it. There are other systems I love as well, but this one really stands out for the innovative way in which it handles tactical combat. Coming in at number 5 is another series game. And this one is Mark Simonich's 19XX. I've heard it called 4X. I've heard it called the EZOC Bond, or ZOC Bond rather, ZOC Bond system. But this one is Stalingrad 42. It's kind of a big scale up. You know, not that the other games are necessarily small. They all cover a fairly significant action during the war. They're all World War II thus far, although I think there are plans to expand it out of that. Now, this one, as you might expect, covers the campaign that led to basically the 6th Army getting surrounded and eliminated at Stalingrad. So we're talking the last 6 months of 1942. So it's a big game with a big scale. As I mentioned, if you're not familiar with the series, and I'm sure most of you, if not all of you, are to some extent, this is a big game. It's 3 maps. It's got 3 counter sheets, which isn't a lot necessarily, but you can see here on the picture, it's a fairly large area of Russia during the Second World War, and it's division level, and you can see some of the counters and stuff here. So you have the campaign game, which covers the entirety of the action here, and then there's also a Case Blue game, which only uses 1 map and is just the beginning of that attack. Case Blue was the German operation, which ultimately fell short of capturing Stalingrad, which was its goal, as well as pushing down into the Caucasus Mountains area, down in this area here, oil fields and so on. So big scale. Again, the EZOC thing is kind of what this series hangs its hat on in terms of being known for that. But what I would like to stress is the both the playability of it. It's not overly complex. It is something you can play without having to, take a master thesis on the rule book. But it's got, it also has these other two. You have the Caucasus Battle and Operation Uranus here as well. Or Uranus. I think it's Uranus. I know how everybody says it because it's funny, but that's actually not how it's pronounced. So yeah, I mean, it says right here, ease of play. And that is true. It's not simple, but it's not overly difficult for someone to learn it. If you're a veteran war gamer, you'll have no problem picking up this system and you will enjoy it. Now we get one at number 4 from a couple of heavyweights in the war game design business, and that would be Mark Herman and Richard Berg. This is, of course, the Great Battles of Julius Caesar Deluxe Edition. So this was a fairly recent kind of combination of several of the Great Battles of History series, which is itself a fantastic series. Now, this one is a little bit more complicated, and they do have a simple Great Battles of History that you can play these with. But this one, of course, is about Julius Caesar. I have, I think, 4 or 5 of the Great Battles of History series. This one is probably my favorite. It came down to this and SPQR and Alexander. All 3 of those are really, really good, and I enjoy all 3 of them. I actually have not played one that I did not enjoy. So a lot going on in here. You get a slew of scenarios, and you can see it combines things. You've got Caesar's Gallic Wars and the Civil Wars. Those are kind of the centerpiece. Then you've also got post-Caesar, the conquest of Britannia, with a couple of battles there from the Caraticus add-on. I think it was an add-on. So this is Conquest of Gaul, was the original game, COG. You have one from Gergovia, and then you have the Civil Wars here, and Veni Vidi Vici, a couple of those as well. And then Jugurtha and Dictator for the earlier Marius and Sulla squaring off. But just a really, I mean, it gives it a 6 complexity. I might shade it a little bit higher than that, maybe a 7, depending. This one isn't overly bad in terms of complexity, but yes, Caesar, the Civil Wars, Conquest of Gaul are the 2 main things that were combined to make this game. This is a lot of game. You get a lot of game for your money, I guess is how I would say it, and a fantastic system. You put those 2 designers together, and you're almost certainly going to get something great. Now, of course, Richard Berg has passed away. Mark Herman, thankfully, is still with us and still creating games today, so that is always a good thing. It is very solitaire friendly as well. So, like I said, as is true with all of these, and this being number 4, you can assume that I do recommend this, and I do. Now, I have not done gameplay video for this game. I also didn't do gameplay video for Stalingrad 42, I realized, but I did for The Last 100 Yards. In fact, that was one of the earliest games I did on the channel, although I believe I first did Airborne. I think it was Airborne that I did first. Anyway, we're going to move on now. We get into the top half now, and another pretty significant designer, and that would be Volko Runke, who designed Wilderness War. So this is the French and Indian War, as you can see, a card-driven game, a CDG, and just a really fantastic game. This was the game that kind of started to show what Volko could bring to wargaming, and obviously he created the Coin series as well as Levy and Campaign, and he's got his new thing going on, the name of which escapes me at the moment, but he continues to churn out new and creative things that are very both innovative and very enjoyable to play, while also being very historical. So this is, you've got your areas, right, that you move within, and so you're basically playing the French and Indian War. This is a 2-player game. It is card driven. Not super solitaire friendly, but you can play it, especially if you have the solo CDG from which GMT also makes. Then that allows you that helps you to play this. This is one of the games it supported. This one did come with a mounted map board. So card driven means you're using cards, and the cards can be played either for an event or for their action number, which is up here in the corner. And not overly complex. It gets a 4, which is fair. It does say players 1, 2. It can be played solo with the addition of the solo system. It loses a little bit if you're trying to play both sides, only because you have perfect knowledge of everything, and there are cards that counter other cards, so that kind of detracts a little bit. But this is another game that just a fantastic game on the French and Indian War. Now, I'm not going to lie, the top 2 I really struggled with in determining which one I wanted 1 and which one I wanted 2, because of the 6 games, they're all pretty high up on my favorite list. But this I ultimately landed at 2. Atlantic Chase, the Kriegsmarine against the home fleet. So this was the first 3-ish years of the war, the Battle of the Atlantic. It says Intercept Volume 1. I don't know what that was. Designed by Jeremy White, or Jerry White, as some people call him. A very innovative and unique game system, first of all. Great programmed learning from the rulebook in how to learn to play the game. And it does come with both solitaire and 2-player scenarios that you can play. Just mind-blowingly unique, I think, is how I would put it. Naval games always boil down to, or typically will boil down to, how do you find the other player's ships, right? So you have to have some fog of war. And the way this handles that is really unique. Now, if we take a quick look at the back, and I do have videos on this game. I love this game. Love it, love it, love it. You can see solitaire suitability is a 9. Complexity is mid-range. So you have a big map of the North Atlantic, and some littler maps as well for the North Sea and the Norwegian Sea. But you get these kind of landscape size counters. The counters are really nice with named ships on them from all the powers that were involved in the war between 39 and 42. So you have the Royal Navy, of course, and the Germans being kind of the centerpiece. But you also have some French ships and some American ships for the beginning and the end of that period, respectively. Nice big game board, couple of inset maps, player aids, all the stuff. A lot of beautiful components. You've got wooden blocks and these kind of wooden things that you use to plot your trajectory. That's a key element in this. Again, if you want more on this, I mean, I've done videos. Other people have done videos on this game. This is a fantastic game. I can't stress enough how much I love this game. And obviously, since I love this one so much, you know I'm going to love the number 1 game also on at least an equal measure. So it's just it's operational. You have task forces, and the game presents the war as a series of scenarios, each depicting a sortie by a German surface asset. So this is surface combat. It's not specifically about U-boats, which is usually what you get in a Battle of the Atlantic game. So you do see Bismarck and Scharnhorst here, those being the kind of the big famous ones. Tirpitz is in here as well. Just the famous German ships, Graf Spee, all of those famous German ships from the Second World War, most of which did not survive very long, or ended up being bottled up in port for the balance of the war, like Tirpitz did. But anyway, this, as I said, just a fantastic game. Just really, really, really well done. And I can't say how much I'm looking forward to Pacific Chase if you didn't gather that from my gushing about that game. So equally gush-worthy is this guy right here. Now, I have not done a gameplay video for this, and I really want to, and I'm sure I will at some point. This is a Mark Herman classic. It is for the people. It is the Civil War. It is a card-driven game. I also have Washington's War, which was originally We the People, which kind of was the first card-driven game. So when I was talking about Volca and innovation, this was a Mark Herman innovation that other people have picked up on, and so on and so forth. But this was originally his thing, and he did a great job, as he always does with his games. This is again a fantastic game, as is Washington's War. This just has a little bit more of a resonance with me personally, being the Civil War. I mean, I know the Revolution was obviously important, separating the United States from Great Britain. That's how the U.S. became a nation. This was how the American nation was saved. And so, equal weight. But the history in this just really speaks to me more than the older Revolutionary game. So this one, again, mid-range complexity, medium solitaire. Again, you can use the solo system, which was created by Stuka Joe and then modified by several different people on behalf of GMT to make solitaire versions for their various games that are card-driven games. So For the People pioneered card-driven gaming 25 years ago, and it still stands out today among what is now a crowded field of games using the CDG mechanism. Totally agree. Simple combat system combined with dynamic gameplay have kept this game fresh and replayable over the decades. This newest printing will allow another generation of players to take up the reins of power and attempt to favorably sway the course of events in the titanic struggle that threatened to divide the nation in its early years. It's a point-to-point map. You can see it. If you remember from just a few minutes ago with Wilderness War covered like this area up here, pretty much a little bit north of there. But just like this northeastern area, this covers the entirety out to west of Texas, or west Texas and north. Massive area. Again, card driven, so you have cards. They work the same way. You've got events that you can play, and then you also you can play it for its points. So just the amount of history in the cards themselves, you can learn so much about this war. And the same is true for Wilderness War and also Washington's War, or not For the People, We the People, was the same thing. I mean, these cards, they give you the events that actually happened in the war, and so you learn about it. If you didn't already know it, you learn about things, little nuances and things. I mean, the research involved in these games is crazy. That's true for most games, but it's just mind-boggling how well done this game is. And again, you've got legendary people working on this game, including Mark Simonich and Roger McGowan, and of course Mark Herman. And you can do the strategic things that the Union did and that the Confederacy did. You can try different things. So the Union can do the blockade, build ironclads. You'll have to deal with draft riots and trying to balance that thing that Lincoln did so well, where you kind of kept the border states in the Union, because they were conflicted, to say the least, as far as wanting to be with the Confederacy or not. The whole slavery question, of course, being a big part of that. Timing of it, issuing the Emancipation Proclamation, all that good stuff. I mean, just like I said, this is my number one GMT game for a reason. Obviously, I love it. Can't recommend it enough. This particular version has a double-sided map, where you can have the classic map or the new map, which I think was done by Mark Simonich. I like the new map. The new map is fantastic. The old map is also great. But yeah, so this is number one. And I will do this for other publishers as well, but GMT was kind of a layup. I have more GMT than anybody else. Compass is second. So Compass may be the next one I do, but that is going to do it for this one. Quick shout out to my subscribers. I appreciate you guys' support of the channel. That is much appreciated. If you're interested in finding out more about that, you can click on the join button and get some information. You do not have to join. Clicking the join button does not mean you're going to join. It just kind of is the pathway to finding out more. And then if you want to pull the trigger, you can. Having said all that, if you have questions or comments, want to argue with me, tell me I'm stupid, tell me I'm nuts, whatever it may be. Hopefully not stupid. Nuts might be okay. You know, other GMT games you love. There's a slew of them. I didn't touch on Coin. I didn't touch on Levy and Campaign. I didn't touch on several other things that are just great. I was limited to 6. You know, Fire in the Lake would have been in here. Nevsky probably would have been in here. There's a bunch. Panzer. There's just a ton of other games I would have loved to include. I limited myself to 6. So if you have, you know, comments on any of that stuff, feel free to post it. I'd love to get a conversation going, and pay homage to these great games. Anyway, please consider liking, sharing, hyping this video. And maybe if you're not a subscriber to the channel, you would like to join the ranks of the subscribers to the Hexed Encounter channel. I would love that. That would be great. If you're already a subscriber, I do appreciate your support. Thanks. But we're done. Until next time, I'm Joe. This is the Hexed Encounter channel. And as always, happy gaming.